Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me in my continued reviews of The Mandalorian Season 2. Now we're going to come up to episode 4 in the second season, which is 12 overall. For, if you combine the first and second season, this is episode 12, but fourth for the second season. It's called The Siege, and it's directed by Carl Weathers, who, for those who don't know, that's the actor who plays Grief Karga. Sorry, I'll be looking at my notes, guys. I'll make sure I give you the right information. And so Carl Weathers is directing this episode, which is, it's always nice to see, it from a different angle and see those different kind of things. I don't know, I like that kind of stuff. Right, and so I think that overall this was an excellent episode. It, is another one where we kind of see, usually with these, we've been finding with Mandalorian, they'll have an episode where it moves the plot forward a lot, and then there's a little bit of a breather episode that a little bit less focused on where we are in the story and more about just kind of like, having fun and getting to see things, which I think is a good thing to do. You need to have those breathers in there, especially for how much has been happening in this lately. So this episode, though, we still got to see a lot of stuff. We got to see Grief Karga again and Cara Dune, who I really like as a character. I think that that she's an excellent character, a really cool backstory, which I hope we're gonna learn a lot about moving forward. I think that she is a real badass, and I like to see more with her. So it's really great that she is the sheriff in town, and she's taking it really seriously. She's done a lot to clean up the town, with Grief Karga being the like mayor or whatever it's called in there, and they've done a good job. And a real show of that is that there is a school set up with kids and droid instructor and everything like that, and which is really fun to see, and it makes a lot of sense that there would be droid instructors taking care of these people, though I could also see a teacher there because of the interpersonal interaction with them. My first thing that I liked in there was the whole scene with Baby Yoda with Grogu stealing that other kid's cookies. I thought that was a very funny, cute scene. They're really playing that he's all about eating, he's all about that snack. He's a snack guy, person of my own heart. I love to snack. So it was really fun to and cute to see that thing and his interaction with that. They can continuing that end joke. And I think that this was better. It didn't kind of go over the top, I thought it made a lot of sense. And they went ahead and they, needed to have the Razor Crest worked on. So he came down there to get it worked on, also reunite with his friends. And they, bring him on a mission to clear out a final little holdout of the Empire, which is good. I like seeing these little holdouts because I think it makes sense. After, the Emperor dies, and then it makes it look like, okay, yeah, the Empire's gone, everybody's, it's a new republic now, and that just doesn't make sense. Not only does it not make sense in that, then the next movie, The Force Awakens, you have the First Order, which is basically just a harder version of the Empire. But also, the Empire was very big. It employed millions of people. It spanned galaxies. Just because the leader goes down doesn't mean that the whole thing crumbles. And I think that this, having all these holdouts, really shows that. And I think that that's a very good thing and very smart. So anything back on Navarra, it's the planet. So back on there, we're going ahead and we're going to have Din go on a little mission with Cara Dune and with Griff, and then we get to see the blue guy. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. I didn't get to write it down. We get to see him again, who added some nice comic relief to the show, to the whole interaction. He had a lot of funny one-liners. I especially liked his joke about there being no guardrails on the reactor controls, because that was always very funny. Whenever you see any stuff from the original trilogy, and you have these people, stormtroopers or whoever, walking along these gigantic trellises or these other things, or Obi-Wan going onto the reactor thing to shut down the reactor. There's no guardrails, nothing like that. And come on, the Empire's whole thing is that they're bringing stability and safety to the galaxy. They would put in some guardrails, I think, but that's a small and silly thing to but I thought it was very funny to hear that call out, and I think that kind of goes back to why Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are so great with Star Wars. They know every nook and cranny and in and out, and they know that it's still fun. We're still having fun with Star Wars, and we can poke fun at ourselves, we can laugh at our own, kind of plot holes and silly things like that. And I think that that makes it so much fun and makes it a lot of joy. Kind of jumping back to the beginning. I'm jumping around a bit, I'm sorry. I'm jumping back to the beginning where we see on the Razor Crest that Din is using Grogu to crawl into that little hole and do some wiring work. And that was a very funny scene, very cute scene. And I just think, I have a small child, I just think me trying to talk to her to get her to do some small little, connect the blue wire, no, not that wire, the other wire, just like that. It's very natural, it seems very true to form, and I thought that was a very cute and funny scene. Okay, and also an Easter egg that I didn't necessarily catch my first time going through, but then somebody else had mentioned it to me, and I looked back at pictures and saw it, is there is an IG-11 statue in the town that we see, Cara Dune, on Navarro, the little town square. We see that there is if you look when they're walking around, there's an IG-11 statue there. And that is a very nice Easter egg. I don't know if that's considered an Easter egg, but it's a very nice little tribute to the character. He went down, he lost his life, his droid life, saving everybody and doing what needed to be done, protecting the baby, protecting the child. And I don't know what else you can ask for. I thought that was excellent with that. That was a cute thing. All right, and okay, I think those are all the notes I actually had. I thought that this was an excellent episode, a fun detour episode. Not a lot happened as far as like presenting the plot forward, but some things that happened that I didn't necessarily write down, but that we get to see a little bit more on the plot of why they want Baby Yoda. We hear the scientists talking about needing the blood from people with high M counts, and we all know that that's midichlorians. Now, nobody likes to say, they say that's a 4-letter word, that's a bad word, midichlorians, but you know what, it's in Star Wars, it's canon. You just gotta, you can ignore it all you want. If you don't want to deal with it, just ignore it. But I think that, I think that this is excellent, that they're good. It makes sense that, if he has a very high midichlorian count, they're taking that and then they're experimenting with it. And someone else had mentioned that I think that's because Moff Gideon wants to infuse midichlorians into him and get force powers, because he already has the dark saber. So he's already like halfway to being a Sith Jedi type of person. He doesn't know what they are even. So he's already partway there with the lightsaber as the dark saber. Now if he can get the force powers, but he doesn't want to do without all the work, I think that's kind of his push, his end game there. So we got to see a little bit of that overall story. So I'm really enjoying this. We don't have too many episodes left. And I think this is progressing nicely. A good little breather episode before we get into hopefully some next stuff that'll really progress it along. So tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What was your favorite part of this episode? I specifically liked, the little comedy bits with, the guardrails with Baby Yoda stealing the cookies, that kind of stuff. I really like those little jokes in there, while still keeping it, action oriented. It was a fun action episode, and I think Carl Weathers did an excellent job directing. But tell me your thoughts on all of it below, and I'd love to, I'll talk to you guys, respond to any comments that I see as much as I can. I don't know. And then I'll see you guys back again, hopefully next week. I'm trying for weekly updates. See you guys next week for the next installment, next episode of Mandalorian. Let's keep watching. Thanks. Bye.